Living in ancient Egypt, uncovering the secrets of the Pharaohs, pyramids of Giza, river of Nile, Egyptian museum. These are some highlights when people discuss Egypt right now, but even ancient Egypt didn't lack highlights. In fact, ancient Egypt was incomparable in its own way. So what was so special about it? How was it different from current Egypt? Well, let's take a walk down ancient Egypt and find all about it. But before we start, if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe and don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. So without further ado, let's take a step into ancient Egypt. First and foremost, we talk about the government. Currently, Egypt has an elected president and a complete parliamentary system, but this wasn't always the case. Back in the days, ancient Egypt was ruled by pharaohs, and the public considered them with absolute power, divine like gods. They basically worshipped the pharaohs, and if you went to ancient Egypt, not only would you see a lot of pharaohs, but also a lot of people worshipping them. In fact, back in the days, people in ancient Egypt worshipped numerous gods and goddesses. That's not the case anymore, though. Most of the population living in Egypt now is Muslim. Moreover, right now, if you visit Egypt, their official language is Arabic. But if you went to ancient Egypt, they actually spoke a different language called hieroglyphics, which is actually now extinct. Enough about politics and religion, though. Let's talk about food. Right now, a normal Egyptian diet includes bread, rice, and a whole lot of meat. That especially includes chicken, which is most popular, but then again, people also consume beef, lamb, and pork. However, if you visited ancient Egypt, that wouldn't be the case. Back then, ancient Egyptians ate mostly grains like barley and wheat. Other than that, they mostly consumed vegetables like onions, garlic, and beans. Dairy and meat wasn't really their main preference back then. Talking about meat, fish has always been a common food source in Egypt, especially thanks to the Nile River. And that's something that still hasn't changed. However, now Egyptians also eat other seafood, including calamari and shrimp especially. When it comes to food, we can't forget fruits, can we? So what fruits would you get if you were to go to ancient Egypt? Well, right now, Egyptians eat a whole lot of imported fruits like apples and bananas as well. However, back in the days, the imported fruits weren't very accessible, but Egyptians still did find a wide variety of fruits, including dates, figs, and even pomegranates. Other than food, let's talk about the social structure a little bit. Modern Egypt is a society that believes in equality. Of course, like all other countries, there's some social inequality, but a lot less than ancient Egypt. Because back in ancient Egypt, the social structure was literally in layers. Actual layers. And top layers held more importance than the ones below them. The layers started from the pharaohs, followed by the royal family, then nobles, priests, and finally the commoners. Last but definitely not the least, let's talk about art and culture. Now, Egyptians use modern materials like canvas and paper, but back in the days, their art heavily relied on stone, clay, and paints. Moreover, now art is created by a wide range of artists and addresses many social and political issues. But back in ancient Egypt, the primary function of art was only to increase the power of the rulers of the country, and art was simply created for them. So to end it, Egypt has extremely been influenced now. Of course, due to globalizations, technology, and overall social advancements. Because of that, their whole living standards, their food, even their culture has advanced a lot. But that's not to say ancient Egypt wasn't full of wonders and highlights. The rich history and culture still remains intact. In fact, Egypt is among one of the only countries to keep its history and culture preserved, even after all the years, which makes it one of the most wonderful countries of the world. And with that, we end today's video. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to give it a huge thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Also, press the bell icon so you never miss out on a future upload.